Knotting between beads is a technique that you'll need to learn in order to start and finish off threads. If you imagine that I've almost reached the end of my thread here, I want to secure it before I cut it off so that the beads are nice and safe. I'm just going to pass the needle through a couple of beads, make sure the thread doesn't catch, and then to actually create the knot I'm going to take the needle under the thread that sits between the bead I've come out of and the bead next to it. I'm going to pull it right through until I've got a small loop. I'm then going to take my needle through the loop and pull it up tight so it forms a knot. I would then pass through a couple more beads and do exactly the same thing. Now in the last knot I just went under the loop once, so I'm creating my loop again. I often like to recommend passing through the loop once and then a second time. This creates a slightly firmer knot, but there is a danger that the knot can actually form higher up the thread, so just be careful if you want to do it that way. I would then just take my needle through a couple more beads and maybe give the beads earlier on a little tug to make sure they're secure, and when I'm happy I'm just going to cut the thread as close as possible to the beads, and there we go, that's the thread finished. If you want to start a thread you would use the same principle, just go through a couple of beads a little below the row where you're carrying on, leave a small tail and then pass the needle under the thread, create the loop, pass the needle through the loop a couple of times, pull it up tight to knot. As you go through the next bead, the knot should pull in under the bead so it'll be fairly well out of sight, and give that a good hard tug. Yeah, it's not going anywhere, so I'm ready to start the next row again.